Hi everyone and welcome. This is Carly and I have a very, very, very special guest with us today, Denise Thomas. Denise is an amazing money mindset mentor for female entrepreneurs, and I've been working with her stuff for about the last 3 years now, going from her amazing book, Lucky Bitch, through to Get Rich, Lucky Bitch, and then joining her amazing Lucky Bitch Money Bootcamp. So I'm really, really excited to have you on tonight, Denise, and so that you can share some amazing tips with our audience on how you worked through your own money blocks to get to where you are today, which is a really inspiring story.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really pumped to chat, and I think we can get really juicy and transparent because I know women especially, we don't talk enough about money. And we don't hear people talking honestly about money. So please, ask me any question you'd like. We can get deep and dirty.
Awesome.
Not too dirty.
Well, speaking of dirty, let's talk about your moldy banana story and where you kind of were in those kind of times in your life when you really kind of had to take stock and reassess, the kind of journey that you're on there. And what you kind of did about it back then, because I'm sure a lot of people can really identify with that story as well.
I've had a ton of those situations in my life, really. I didn't grow up wealthy at all. I had a single mum parent who really struggled financially, and I never had any good role models around either making money but also receiving money. I can see now how my mum was just had such a frugal poverty mindset for a lot of that time. And she had a story about being a single mum too. But in my early 20s, this moldy banana story was, I was living in a share house and, just working 5 jobs, and I had this crappy boyfriend, and he was always just cheating on me or being really horrible to me. And I remember at the time, I just wouldn't allow myself to have really any pleasure in life. And this has nothing to do with money, by the way, because I see people with money who also treat themselves like this. And I remember my bed was just kind of covered in just books and clothes and whatever. And I would just kind of, get in at night. And I had this conversation with my boyfriend where he was just being an idiot again. And I hung up and I was just crying, and I sat there and I just went, there's something smelly in my room. And I realized I had this moldy banana under my pillow. And it was just one of those wake up moments where I realized how I'd been treating myself, how I'd allowed myself to be treated. And even though that particular situation had nothing to do with money, in reality, I was living like that with money too. I would never allow myself to really profit from my skills and talents. I had shitty jobs, I had terrible bosses, and I almost had that dysfunctional relationship that I had with my boyfriend with my money. And I think a lot of women can really relate to situations like that where you just go, what am I doing with my life? Or how am I allowing myself to be treated like this, whether it's at work or with a client? We've all had those clients, or with a relationship. And my money mentor, Kendall Summerhawk, she says, how you do money is how you do everything. And at that point in my life, it was all about deservingness, and I wasn't allowing myself to really receive money or anything.
And that's such an important point, isn't it? Because, when self-esteem and self-worth is really heavily linked to everything, including money. And I think there's quite a big gap there, isn't there, between, well, it took me a really long time to realize that. I did a lot of work around my money before I even really clocked onto that aspect. And I don't find a lot of people really talk about that. So that's a really important point that you raised, that, you were treating yourself in that way. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing when you actually get to that and realize that, the self-esteem and self-worth is something to build on as well. And then everything else grows from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. But the message that we've been given is if you just work hard, then at some point you'll be rewarded. And I've found that that's really not the case. I always was a very hard worker. I'd always have 4 or 5 jobs on at any one time. And it's not the case. And then I see people do it in business, women in business, they just think, if I just work harder, I'm sure that will be the thing. And it's like, you can't work like that. You know, it doesn't work anymore, because it's all about your capacity to receive. And if you're just burning yourself out, that's the old model. It doesn't work anymore to do it like that.
Yeah. And I so identify that with that. You know, I've generally always had 4 or 5 jobs on the go while being at uni or running a business as well. And, you know, it kind of gets old, doesn't it? And that's so not the current way of doing things. And I love how you're really exploring that with women at the moment, is, you know, breaking out of that mold. So what would be 3 things that you could share, 3 tips, I suppose, in that area that you could share with the audience today?
Yeah. So one of the first things is to look at your background. Look at how you grew up around money, because you're going to find some clues there about your current beliefs. So let's talk about the work hard one, right? I think all of us can do this. Is, where was that perpetuated in your life, or who told you that was what we had to do? Most of it's just really easy. It's like, oh, my parents told me, or they showed me. They either showed me what I should do or showed me what I shouldn't do. And some of us, you know, do the pendulum swing and overcompensate. So, and that comes from all different backgrounds. I've heard people who grew up, you know, in situations with not much money, and their parents told them, well, you have to go out and you have to work really hard to make money. But I've even heard that from people whose parents were like lawyers or doctors, and they grew up very wealthy. Their parents worked and worked and worked and worked. So that's the first tip, is to really look and see where some of your beliefs might have come from, because then you can have a greater understanding and almost compassion for yourself. It's like, well, no wonder I've been told since I was a little girl that you have to work hard to make money. So of course I'm working hard. I'm working even harder and harder, because it's so ingrained in you. The second thing to do, once you kind of see those patterns in yourself, you have to have the awareness of your behaviors, your current behaviors, and how that's working. So say, for example, you go, okay, I can see that I have this belief that you have to work really hard to make money. So now, second step, what is my awareness of my behaviors? How is this showing up for me? So you probably see it with your clients as well. It shows up in refusing to delegate, reinventing the wheel. So you have to work really hard. Changing businesses every couple of months, so you never get traction with any one business. So you have to perpetuate it. Procrastinating, so you have to pull all-nighters. So you then justify it because you've got blood, sweat, and tears in your business. Over-delivering for clients. This is all stuff that's just current behaviors based on those old patterns. So that's the second tip, is just awareness of that current behavior. And then the third thing is, you need a pattern interrupter. You need something to stop those behaviors. So pattern interrupters could be something like emotional freedom technique, EFT. It could be changing your self-talk. It could be having mantras. It's also who you surround yourself with is a great pattern interrupter, because when you see other people acting in healthy ways, you can start to change it for yourself as well. So I think that's there are my tips, really, is like, you know, uncover where it's come from, look at where it's showing up in your life at the moment, and then have some pattern interrupters so you can stop the behavior. You know, you can stop it and choose something different.
Yeah. And those are all really amazing tips. And there's such a strong link, isn't there, between you have to work really, really, really hard for your money and self-esteem as well. Because, you know, I see a lot of people going through that, where if they're not able to work hard, or if they're in a position where for some reason they can't, or they're burning themselves out, there's that real strong link between, if I don't do that, then I'm not worthy.
Yes, I didn't earn it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and this is why I see women resist creating passive income in their business, because they feel like they don't earn it. It's like, that's cheating somehow, or that's against the natural order of things. It feels inappropriate for me to make money without having to really work hard for it. So we do all these crazy things to kind of resist it and sabotage to make it easy. And it's horrible, because women, I mean, when we can embrace grace and ease and flow, we can change the world. And we're just holding ourselves back in so many ways at the moment, mostly out of guilt. I see for women, this guilty feeling that, well, I can't be this easy for me. And who am I to have an easy life? And who am I to be abundant when there's so much suffering in the world? Not realizing that if we really truly embrace who we are, reclaim our money power, we can help so many more people, and we can change the world. I truly believe that.
Yeah. There's such a thing, isn't there, between with the belief, oh well, if I'm rich, then that's going to be greedy of me to want more money, and why would you not want more money when you can give so much more to charity and you could give so much more of your time if you have that time freedom and the money freedom to be able to do it?
Absolutely.
What are some of the money blocks that you see coming up in your group when women quit the corporate daily grind and set up their businesses full time?
Yes. So the working hard one is absolutely the biggest one. But the second one that I see so much is this feeling that you have to choose between helping people or making money. And you can't do both. And it's kind of unethical to make money out of helping people. So I see this in most professions, really, but it really comes up a lot in people who are in healing professions, in helping professions. So that could be even the woo-woo side of people who are, psychics or tarot readers or astrologers or whatever. There's a feeling of like, well, this is helping people and I shouldn't charge for this gift that I have. But it also comes up in people who are like health coaches or weight loss coaches or people who help people with their mindset or some sort of transformation in their life. They're like, oh, I'm making money off someone's suffering, instead of thinking I'm allowed to make money out of serving people and helping them transform their lives. So I think it's really weird, and it comes up in different ways for different women. Some people, it comes up of this choice between love and money. It's like, well, I can have great relationships with people or I can make money out of them. And it's like, you don't have to choose. These aren't completely mutually exclusive things. You can absolutely make money by helping people, and you can help people by making more money and helping them make more money, or having the ripple effect by employing more people with the wealth that you make. So I think that's the second one, and it's very multifaceted, this whole thing about helping people or making money. It comes up for different ways for different people, but it's probably the second biggest one that I see for women.
And there's a real thing there about valuing your time as well, isn't there? And actually charging what you're worth, and really working through that value and self-worth again, in terms of putting a price on what you think your time is worth. That time away from yourself and away from your family and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. And this is actually why I talk a lot about pricing in my work and in my money boot camp, because as women, we place a lot of importance on pricing, and we think, oh, if we price too much, we're being greedy, mean bitches, or we have to help everybody. And, price is just pricing. Pricing is just a marketing strategy. And I know, but I know that there's a lot of mindset and fear behind it for women about putting a price on our value. And you're really not, like it's the price that you charge isn't a reflection of your self-worth as a human being. It's got nothing to do with that. But it trips a lot of women up of how much I should charge. And that's definitely something I can help with on my money boot camp. And it's so important, it's something that we've got a lot of stuff around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting being part of the private Facebook group connected to your money boot camp, because sometimes I just go on there and I have a read through of the stuff that's coming up for other people. And there's always so much stuff and value that you can get out of individuals' posts, because there's always so many similarities that you can see. And the comments that people put are all really, really great feedback and really good value as well. I always get so much out of reading just the comments on people's posts and stuff. It's great. It's great to be part of such a great community.
Well, community is something that I think is so important when it comes to success around money. And it's something a lot of women don't have. And the problem with that, if you don't have a supportive prosperity community, right? If you don't have that, you can be psyched out all the time by very well-meaning friends and family around your money. You can get sucked into other people's negativity. You can price your stuff out of based of fear of other people. You can go, oh my God, all my industry is charging this, maybe I should charge that too, not realizing that they are keeping you down, and you're taking on other people's money blocks as well. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I see people not succeeding around their money, because they're surrounded by constant poverty mindset, and they don't know where to go, and because they don't think there could be anything different. Maybe they've never met women before who talk so honestly and transparently about money, or they've never had someone support them and believe in them. And it's really detrimental. I've been there myself. I was like, oh, I'm the black sheep of my family. None of my friends like talking about money. When I started my business, they were like, oh, you can make money out of that? That sounds weird. And you can't succeed like that. You know, it's very hard to, I think, because you're just swimming against the tide and like being sucked down by other people's negative money stories. And trust me, we've all got our own money baggage. If you take on other people's as well as your own, you're going to drown in it. You know, so just carry your own. That's enough. And I can help you deal with that. But don't take on other people's.
There's too many people taking advice from broke, unhappy people about money and happiness.
Totally. And I used to do it. I remember I would try and get money advice or business advice from everyone. You know, I'd take it on from my family members who were not in business, by the way. I would take it on from people who weren't even my target market, because I didn't feel strong in my own money self. I didn't have that armor to, you know, and so I was vulnerable to other people's money stuff. And that's what I see in women. You can be very vulnerable to other people's money blocks, because you don't have the strength, you haven't done the training, you haven't had that discipline of building that resilience for yourself, which is, you know, obviously the stuff that I teach.
Yeah, absolutely. And other people's beliefs can really bring you down when you're, like you say, you're vulnerable and your beliefs are exposed, and other people's baggage just feeds into that. So the great thing about your community is that I can go on there and do a big brain dump about how shitty I'm feeling about money and be supported. Or I can go on and celebrate all my wins and completely brag and gloat about all the amazing things that are happening and be supported in that as well. So it's a really, really safe space, isn't it, to be able to do that, and with the backing and support of you as well. And you're really, really active in that group too. So it's great to see.
Yeah. And it's nice being in a place that's not intimidating about money. You know, you'll see someone say, I've just made my first ever passive income sale, and I made like $9 out of my ebook. And that is just as celebrated as someone who says, oh my God, I've just, you know, made my first 6-figure launch. Because we know what it takes to go to that next leap, and it takes the same stuff, to be honest. It's the same mindset work to get to your first $100, to get to your first 1,000 or 6-figure or 7-figure. It's the same work, and that's why it's all celebrated, which I love.
No, that's awesome. So what would you say has been your biggest challenge around money, say, well, to date, when you were really, really stuck in your money blocks, kind of maybe before you even really started sussing it out and working through that, where can you, like, is there any comparison between where you were there and where you're at now? Because I guess for my kind of audience, they're really stuck in their money shit. You know, so it's going to be really great for them to see someone like you who's really been there and made it to where you are now.
And being stuck is really the word, right? And for me, it felt very stuck. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't break past. It was like a self-imposed glass ceiling. That's what it felt like. I spent a lot of time being frustrated that I couldn't make my business ideas work. So for about a good 6-7 years, I would start a business, not be able to make money out of it, and then I'd have to go back to a job. And I did this like every 6 months for like 6-7 years, right? And it was incredibly painful. And I remember that feeling of going to work, looking at the clock, going, is it my lunch break yet? Could I please go? Or just thinking, when is it going to be my turn? When is it going to be my turn? And what turned it all around for me is I started to be incredibly vigilant about my thoughts and feelings about money. I started protecting myself. I spent every waking moment trying to crowd in the good, crowd out the bad. And I started to try just to believe in myself. Maybe I could do it. Maybe this could be for me. You know, maybe, why not me? I even asking myself, why am I not allowed to make money? And I realized I had all these beliefs. I actually thought, well, I'm not educated enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. When I really started to uncover it, And so I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be stuck, to be frustrated with yourself that you're not living up to your full potential, to be pissed off that other people seem to be, going ahead of you, or that it's happening for other people and not you. I know what it's like to feel frustrated with your partner because they don't seem like they're on board with, with your goals and dreams, or they're not on board with you manifesting. I understand all of that. And here's what it takes. I'm going to be really honest. It takes incredible vigilance around your thoughts and feelings about money. It takes just incredible being very careful about what you allow into your world. People, messages, thoughts, feelings, everything that you allow into your world. The good news is I make a lot of that easy for you by creating that safe space. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to figure out where that's all coming from, because we've seen thousands of women go through this now. We know what some common stories are. We know the questions to ask to help you uncover it. But, I just want everyone to hear that I'm still not perfect with money. I still have to work on my money stuff all the time because I've got new big goals to go for. And I was really shit with money, really shit for a long, long time. And there's hope for everyone. I've seen amazing success stories of people who've turned it around, but it just starts with the first step. It starts by committing to making money mindset a priority for you in your life, so you can prosper from your skills and talents.
And the money bootcamp really makes that so much easier as well, because you've got something really, really great to follow with other people doing it at the same time. When I started the money bootcamp, you weren't doing the live rounds at that point, so I was stoked. It was only a few months ago, wasn't it, that you ran the last live round?
It was October last year.
Oh, was it that long ago already?
Yeah, yep.
Wow. I'm so stoked. I think that was the first live round that had happened since I joined. And it was so cool to be able to do it live with my friends who joined at the same time. It was amazing. And there's always fresh new blocks that come up to be released and healed. And
exactly, which is why I'm stoked that we're doing another live round in August. We kick off on the 7th of August and registration opens on the 1st of August. And we do have an early bird as well. And I know, Carly, you have a link as well. Are you going to put that below, or do you know what the link is?
I am going to add a page onto my website, coachcarly.com/Denise, where all the links will be. Yeah.
Perfect.
So you have to join us. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, especially for the live round. We did one, I think 2012 or 13, and then we skipped a couple of years. We did one last year. I don't know when we'll do one again. We might do one next year, but I might be having more babies, or who knows. So if this is something that you've been wanting to work on, it's kind of one of those moments where the stars have aligned, where it's kind of the perfect timing and the perfect conditions to come and join, with thousands of other women doing it all together. The momentum, but also the accountability. The accountability of doing a program like this right now with so many people just takes everything to a deeper level. And it's time for us to all step up and to do this, take care of this part of money mindset that's so important.
Definitely. And the great thing is that once you join, you have lifetime access, so you can do all the future live rounds that come up. You're always supported in the group. You're always supported by Denise. There's always amazing ahas that you can have. It doesn't matter when you join. There's always more stuff that comes up around money, isn't there, Denise? I mean, you've been working on your money mindset for how long?
Every day I work on my money mindset. And, if I ever was just wanting to cruise for a year, maybe I wouldn't be as vigilant. But, and I don't want to scare anyone like, oh my God, you have to do this for the rest of your life. You, at the start of your money mindset journey, to really get those cogs turning and to start the money flowing, you do have to do some work. You have to really uncover some stuff. Then you can go into maintenance mode, and and you don't have to like dig as deep anymore. But then when you want to go to a new goal, guess what? You have to do it again, and which is great, right? Because we've got a supportive place to do it. But I'm right there alongside everyone working on my money mindset too, because I've got new big goals to hit, and that's what it takes. That's what it takes for all of us to get those big goals. And to, it's not even just about having the biggest goal or making the most amount of money. I think women at the moment are really craving richness in all areas of our life, our bank account included, but it's not just about the money for so many of us women. It's about creating freedom, legacy, connection, community, significance, and really changing the planet. That's what a lot of us are doing at the moment. And this is why this work is so important.
Absolutely. It's never really about the money at all, is it? When you really dig deep, it's just kind of a byproduct, but it's really amazing to see how when you shift all the other stuff around it, the money naturally increases as well. And what I love about you, Denise, is that you're so transparent about, when you're going through stuff yourself, you share that with your community. You're really, really open about that. And that's one of the reasons why I love you so much, is because you're so authentic.
Well, thank you. I just love sharing what works. And this has worked. We've had tons of women go through it now. And I've always been one of those people, even as a little kid, I was always like, you have to read this book. It's going to change your life. And now I'm like that with my own program. I'm like, you have to do this program. It's going to change your life. And not even just because of me. It's really the other women who are there to support you and witness you on your journey as well. And it's really a collective kind of sisterhood in that way.
Yeah, totally. And the work works. It really, really, really works. So get on board, people, and follow Denise.
Yeah, someone said the other day, they were like, wow, this shit really works. And I was like, that's going to be our new tagline. Come and join it. This shit works.
Definitely. Thisshitworks.com.
Exactly. Perfect.
Cool. Well, okay. So can you leave us with one really, really inspiring tip for our audience on if they're feeling really, really stuck right now? Share a gold nugget with the audience.
Yes, this is one of my favorite exercises because it will immediately start to bring up some stuff for you, which is great. So straight after this call, go look in a mirror, stand there and just look at yourself and point to yourself and say, this is what a wealthy woman looks like. Mm-hmm. Because wealth comes in all shapes and sizes. There are no rules anymore to what a wealthy woman looks like. A wealthy woman looks like me and you and all the rest of our community. But what that exercise is going to do, you're going to start to hear a few little excuses. You'll go, no, it's not. I don't have X, Y, Z, or I'm not enough in this way, this way, this way. And that's really going to prove to you that there's more to uncover. Because why not you? Why not you? You are just as worthy as anyone else to receive more wealth in your life, create more richness in your life. And your only job is just to uncover all those excuses that you have and really reclaim your money power so you can step forward and be who you're always meant to be.
I love that. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Denise. That was amazing to talk to you today. And I can't wait to jump on the next live round. And hopefully there'll be many more people joining us. I'm sure there will be. So you can go to coachcarly.com/Denise to find all the links that you need to check out the bootcamp and join us for, what was it, the 7th of August?
Yes, that's when we kick off. But registration's open on the 1st of August. And I know that you'll be sharing the link to my free workshop, which is called Reclaim Your Money Power. Yes. And this will give you a bit of a taste of uncovering some of the blocks that you might already have. And if you like that, that's just a great, tip of the iceberg. That will give you a bit of a flavor for this work. And then if you want to come and join us, Carly will have all the information for you there as well. So join the free workshop first and then jump over and join us on bootcamp.
Awesome. Exciting. Thank you so much, Denise, for your time tonight. And
thanks,
I
Carly.
look forward to seeing everybody on the live round.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.